Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tech Gal, and today we have Karuna with us. A lot of you have asked me, what can a technical writer do? Like, is it only that they can write just blogs, or they can just, solve some basic grammatical errors in any open source project? But I would say it goes way beyond that. And there are programs such as Google Season of Docs. And today, Karuna will share with us how you can be a part of such a program as Google Season of Docs and ace it like she did. So, before we start, Karuna, do you mind introducing yourself a bit?
Sure. So, hey everyone, my name is Karuna and I am currently a student studying data science and I've been into communities for like around 2 years now, been doing open source and been a coach at Major League Hacking. I have also been participated in Google Season Talks, and apart from that, I have been like a mentor at lot of hackathons, just a few, and so that means just getting involved in open source and love doing that community work.
That's awesome, Karna. And we know, like communities and open source is something that has been changing at least India and the other developing countries in recent times. And today we will be talking about Google Season of Docs. So, there is a chance that a lot of viewers who are watching this video for the first time, they don't know what the program is about. So, can you just tell about the program in short and make, a beginner understand what the program is about?
Sure. So Google Season of Docs is basically a program which is created by Google. So the organizations which are in open source, usually they don't have docs ready or they are still busy with the product, but documentation is way too behind. And without documentation, we know how difficult it is to learn about a product, how to use a product, and lot of stuff. So GSoD helps them out with this program. So basically, organizations apply to Google Season of Docs and ask them that this is our budget and we want to hire some technical writers. So GSoD does the exactly same. So once the proposal of organizations is accepted, saying that okay, these are the projects you are going to work on in this period of time, let's say of 6 months, and GSoD says okay, your project is accepted. Now the organizations which applied to GSoD had to hire technical writers. Now that is a different process. So like in GSoC, which you see, the Google uh, like hires coders from their website, right? But in GSoD it's different. So like organizations can choose their own technical writers, and Google does not involve in this line. So the work of Google is only till the point where the organization chooses their project and tells them that hey, we are going to work on these things and this will be our budget, so can you accept us? So if Google says yes, the organizations are accepted, then after that point of time it's the work of organization to get technical writers into their web projects and get them involved.
Okay, I guess the process is pretty much similar to how Google's in of code that is G-Shock works, right? But yeah, over here, like organizations has more power on selecting whom they want to work with, and that's something very interesting, right? So, like Karuna, like
Yeah.
who is eligible? Like, is it there should be seasoned writers or there should be freelance writers who will get the opportunity to be a part of the program, or anyone who is just starting out and don't have much experience can also be a part? And along with that, is it only students who can be a part, or even working professionals can join the program?
A good question. So, Google Season of Docs, if you see on their website, they mention that they need this program is for someone who already have experience with writing, but that's not what I think because I have done this without much experience, like not in professional way, but I had some experience with doing blogs and stuff and writing docs for open source. But if you say there is some eligibility, so at least 18 years above on the registration of the program. And then I think they have some residency things. So not to be a resident of United States, embarrassed country. So those are some things. And apart from that, I think Yeah, we are eligible for pretty much everything. So students can also do it, working professionals can also do it, and so this also depends on organization sometimes. Like they might ask you to like have some previous experience to apply to the organization. So the organization which I have been into, they did not put the bar. So they were like open to each and everyone, and that was really good. But other organizations, if you see the proposals of their GSoD, you will find that they need some requirements, or let's say they need some criteria to meet, and if you do that, you are eligible to apply to them. Otherwise, as per GSoD, you are applicable, like you can do it.
Okay, it's also pretty much similar to how the shock works. So yeah. So now, moving forward, Karuna, suppose there is a contributor who wants to contribute into an organization, and they are just trying to solve the documentation issues and everything, and post that they start applying, right? Like, so what all things they should have already done? Like, is it something they should have written n number of technical blogs, or they should have already made technical documentation for any other product? And what is the like total application process, like whenever someone wants to be a part? So first of all, as you mentioned, organizations come by, Google shortlist them, and then it is displayed on GSoD's page that these are the selected organizations, and then people apply. So what is the total application process? And maybe you can just start answering with that, and then we can take forward.
So application process for contributors, basically, I would say, again depends on each and every organization. So let me share you from one of the organization's proposal. So just a second. Yeah. So what they say is, just email them, or they have this skills needed. So they have listed what they require from the technical writers, and then this is of Konda organization. So what they do is, if you want to participate, or if you are interested in to contribute to Konda organization in GSOT, send them an email and include your technical writing work or portfolio or resume, and that's it. They gave a deadline, and you can just mail them. So this is for one organization. Now let me tell you, there is another different method which another organization is using, which is like a sync API. Let me say, they are using a Google form. They are asking you to write whole answers like essay type questions, and they want you to write what will you do when you are accepted in a sync API. What are you interested to contribute in? Uh, if you had any previous experience, listed out. If not, what will you do if you are accepted, or what are your ideas about async API? Pick some issues where the docs are not up to the point. So these are some questions which they have listed in their Google form. So this depends on organization to organization. You need to put more work. So the technical writer needs to go through all of these proposals and see which organization they are interested in. And then application process again differs from orgs to orgs. That's just as I've described, that async API using Google Forms to, and needing them to write all the answers, and where Konda is asking you to email your blogs or any previous technical writing experience with your CV or resume, right? So there is no such particular criteria where they say you need to have n number of blogs or n number of contributions done previously. It just gives you a upper hand when you're applying low. So let's say I have written some 45 blogs and have some around 100K views on it. That's a big number, but just for an example, this gives you an upper hand saying that, oh, this is great. So, like 100K views is great, right? Or let's say you have done some n number of open source contributions, written docs everywhere, and have them merged in. So, this is one place where you can like say, hey, I contributed to these many organizations, so I am really capable. So, you are able to sell yourself to the organizations and say, okay, I can do this. So it makes a positive impact on organizations too and make you accepted.
Okay, that's great. And I guess the platform in which people write blog, that does not matter. I guess you can write blog in any platform which you want to write. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So, like I guess initially the most difficult phase for GSoD must be selecting organizations, right? Like where should you apply and where should you work in the upcoming months. So, what all tips which you want to share with applicants or future aspirants who wants to be part of the program? Like how they can select organizations. So, any tips if you want to share?
sure. So, see, there are 2 to 3 things which you should always keep in mind. First is community. So, whenever you are joining or want to contribute to an organization, in open source, I have seen a lot of communities where, like, some communities you get really good mentorship. You meet such nice people who are welcoming, wanting you to help, right? And there are some communities where you might not get help. You might meet some people who want to put you down, or you might meet some people who like not give you time, or just saying that speed up things fast, we need the product fast. So that's not how it should be done, right? This is a learning opportunity for most of us, right? So by participating in these programs, we want to learn, we want to make sure that we have fun, but we also want to make sure that this is a growing opportunity, right? So knowing that community is the most important first part, I would say. So like just get involved. So like in this timeline, you have this timeline of resort where uh, I think till April, last week of April, right? So from March to April, last week of April, you have this timeline. And by selecting, the selection of org should depend. So like once you have gone through all the proposals, try shortlisting it. So let's say you have seen all the proposals first, and now you know what requirements they want. Let's say some organization wants you to learn these many tools, or want they expect you to know these tools which you don't know. Now let's cross it out. Let's check the other proposals. There are some skills matching, so you will shortlist those, and then try to go to their Slack or go to their mailing list and try to get involved. Like really talk to people there and say if they participated in previous season of docs, or just go to their channels and ask if they can contribute to any issues, see how their GitHub works, see how the people are in the community, are they willing to help you, etc. Right? So this is the community part, and this should also help you to know how will the organization work for you in the future, right? Once you start contributing in this work. So if that fits, you can again shortlist few of those organizations, right? Second thing is the mentors. You need to get to know them. So those will be the point of contact in the complete season of talks. Let's say few organizations might have 2 to 3 mentors, but other people are also willing you to help. But in some organizations, they just have one mentor, and that is your point of contact. That's it. No one else, right? So you might want to know what is your requirement. Do you need more people to help you? Or do you want like one mentor is enough for you and you can communicate with it, right? uh, Another thing is soft skills. So if your skills are not up to the part, let's say you have written so much, you have done so much, but your skills soft skills are not up to point, like you don't have patience, or let's say you don't want to like make up with the time zone differences. So these are all things comes in open source. Let's say when you are contributing to an issue, there are a few things like like your PR might not get merged quickly, or they might give you so many reviews. Let me tell you one thing. So like my pull request in async API for a doc got 109 reviews. So if you are able to like be patient and uh, accept that uh, what you call accept that feedback, then it is good. Otherwise you're gonna be like why is it not getting merged, or you might get frustrated at some point of time. So this might not be for you. You need to do more again, right? So this is all a learning opportunity. You can make mistakes, but just be sure that uh, you cover it up. You do better than that, right? And yeah, so these are some things which you can keep in mind while choosing an organization.
So even writing is, not that easy. Need to keep a lot of things in your mind when you are doing that. And as she mentioned, 109 reviews is a lot. Okay, so like although this is an open source program and we should not focus a lot on the stipend or money, but just a query, like which I asked for to my whoever comes to my show, like, so is this a unpaid program, or if there is any stipend? Or if there is any stipend, does that vary between organizations, or is it a fixed stipend? And like in Google Summer of Code, we have two sort of stipend breakdown. One is for medium project, and one is another for large project. Do we have a similar structure for this as well, or what is it?
I think it is similar. So, as far as I have seen in previous years, the stipend from organization to organization varies. So, let's say for Asim KPI, we got around 10,000, and for Moja Global, I think it was around 15. But that again depends how much the organization has, how much their project is. So it it depends on the organization. Like, let's say they might have seen that there's a lot to work on, right? And they want to give swags, they want to give mentors some stipend, they want to give technical writers some stipend. So they just uh, segregate all of that which budget is allocated, right? So yeah, even if the proposal says 15,000, you might not get it. You have to just scroll down a little bit. Each and every proposal has this segregated table where they say this much for swags, this much for technical writers, and this much for mentors or some other mixed stuff. So yeah, you do get stipend. It is good. So yeah, just keep in mind that you don't work for stipend, but actually you are interested in contributing to that organization.
Okay, so in the proposal, we need to write that. So I just didn't. So is it like the organizations mention the breakdown, or is it the contributors when they're submitting the proposal they do that?
See, contributors don't need to submit
Okay,
a proposal unless the organization
okay.
wants you to. This budget thing is done by the organizations. Yeah.
uh, like I was reading a lot of blogs, because I wanted to apply in Google Search Docs, and I read that some of the folks were also implementing CI/CD pipelines for the organizations. They're setting up the repositories. So what were your experience like? So how did a regular day working as a Google Search of Docs Mentee look like for you? So were you just writing blogs in Markdown, or were it something else you were using for writing, and what all tools you were using for writing? Like, maybe if you could share a bit on how to write like a pro, or what all things someone, if they get selected, they need to keep in mind that, okay, so if I am Google System of Docs, it is just not writing plain English. You also need to be technically sound, profound to write that, right? So if you can just share your experience in Google System of Docs in the way, it might be of help.
So the thing is, not every technical writer is like good in everything. Let's say you are a developer, then you might know few of the tech stacks which the organization might be using. So, but in my case, I didn't know. So you might probably won't know too, because see, this is a project where you are meant to write about it and not develop a product, right? So I would say before getting into writing, I would say just play with it. Go to their repository, check out what their product is about, how does it work, or if not, you can try and install it on your system. If you can, just try following their installation instructions. You might find a bug there saying that, hey, this installation feature is broken. There you go, one documentation issue done. So again, yeah, start playing with it, start trying out new things. Ask the community members if you want to how to do this, how to do that, and once you get comfortable, you will know that okay, this is how it works. Now you might want to start relate that thing to your issues. Let's say in my case, it was tutorials, how to get started with the product, right? Now, this aligns with what I did previously. I played with the product. I know how to get started. Installation done, how to do the steps, what to do, everything done, right? I played with it. Now, to write a tutorial about it. We go from step one, let's say first installation. Second is what? What are the prerequisites? What is the background you need to know? So, if you're thinking it from a beginner's perspective, you'll know that, okay, I wrote it from a beginner's perspective. Now others will also understand from that perspective. Or let's say you are a developer and you are writing something really, really complex, which might not be suitable for other readers, right? So you need to keep in mind that your audience is a beginner, and you need to unlearn whatever you learned before you start writing. And as for the tools, I would say first important thing is before submitting your pull request, keep it in draft, but please, please, please do review it like for 1,000 times, make it perfect. Because I know I got like 109 comments for reviews on my pull request. So reviewing is a really important step. Keep Grammarly open at all the times. Let's say you wanna check for grammar. You wanna check how lengthy your sentences are. Too much lengthy sentences does not match. See, the reader usually what they do is they just skim over the information. Like they don't really read it. They see installation. They see, oh, this is a step, and they will quickly just click on that command, which is like in the terminal thing, right? So they will just quickly click on it and run it on their computer. They won't read it. So you need to make some short sentences and write warnings, write instructions wherever required. And again, you also need to keep in mind that navigation is something important. So if you miss the page, so let's say this is the side navigation bar, right? And you are seeing that there are two to three, but the sentences are not matching, or let's say one is going down. That's like really big sentence, but the navigation is so small that it's pushing it down. So you need to keep in mind that you need to check for the headings, how lengthy are they matching. Also, there are some organizations which use Docusaurus or some other things beside from Markdown. So if you are going for that organization, you need to learn those tools beforehand, because there won't be much time given after you enter the GSoC period. So let's say when you know about GSoC is starting, right? You might want to go through previous organizations and see if they are participating this year. It doesn't matter if they get accepted or not. If you want to contribute to them, just go through previous seasons, check that organization what tools they require. If you are really interested in, start learning it right away. Doesn't matter, it will help you in future anyway, so you are not even wasting time, right? And review your doc thousands times. It's never perfect, and take the feedback in a positive way. They don't mean bad to you. They might seem a little rude sometimes, but that doesn't mean you are a bad writer, or that doesn't mean you have done anything wrong. It's just the way the open source works. It's just the way how you should take feedback in open source and improve. That's the main point, that you are improving by each and every review, right? So yeah, apart from that, keep learning. This is a complete learning process, so you don't have to like, oh, I don't know this. You just have to know by the time you do it, right? So learn on the go, and yeah, have fun that time. That's it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Karuna. Like, I guess you shared your experience along with tips for applicants, and that's really great. So, like, it was really great having you. So, in case I missed out some questions, or if you want to add on something, so you can add in this final segment, as your final thoughts, or if you want to add some more tips which you want the viewers to follow on, maybe you can just mention that over here.
Sure. I think we covered most of it, but yeah, and also keep sorry, like make sure you are aligned with your time commitment. So it requires almost 4 to 5 hours a day, and they might also like have it in their guidelines or something, that technical writer should be available for this much of time, and see that you align with it. Because it doesn't look good when you drop out of the program saying that, hey, wasn't able to do it. but because they are losing out and you are also losing out, so just keep in mind that you align with your time commitments, and be sure to like be updated with everything. Let's say you are not out of the loop of your team, they have some updates, they have been pinging on your Slack and you close the Slack and you are doing some other work. That should not happen. Be in loop with them. Keep them updated about your progress. They will update keep you updated about their progress, right? It should be a two-way communication. One-way communication does not work in open source. Even if there are time zone differences, just keep in mind it's just one message. How much time would it take, right? And they will look at it and reply on their own time zone, right? So yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Karuna. And guys, if you have any questions, you feel free to reach out to Karuna. I will be mentioning her socials in the descriptions. And if you have any questions regarding to this particular podcast, feel free to mention them in the comments. And I hope you learned a lot, like me, from Karuna. So if you want me to make any related videos, or if you want me to talk on anything else, feel free to mention that in the comments. And thanks a lot, Karuna, for joining in.